Yes. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to Chattering with Nicholas Vince.
You can do this. We can get through this without laughing. We can do this. We can be better than last time.
Yeah, complete failure. Yeah. Funnily enough, just before we came on live, Kate was just saying to Kate Shenton, who I'll introduce properly in a few moments, along with Nic Lamont. We'll just say, can we do this without falling about hysterically? The answer is no, we can't. So that's fine.
I'm here this time. I'm going to be the monitor, like the laughter monitor, guys. Don't worry about it. I'll keep you in check.
Okay. She looks very serious, Kate. She looks very serious. Anyway, so hi. I've got no real shout outs. It's fine. We'll just go dive in. I'm just going to Kate first. Kate, would you like to say hi to the boys and girls at home?
Hi, boys and girls at home. Is there anything else I should say? Should I introduce myself?
Yeah, you can explain why you're not wearing makeup.
Oh gosh, so anyone who knows me knows that I always wear red lipstick, and this is rare. Like, most people have never seen me with red lipstick, so I actually feel very naked and very weird at the moment. But basically, I was at work because, as well as making films, I also teach films, and we were assessing the MA students, and I was skedoodling back home, and I was like, oh, I'm going to rewatch the film I'm going to talk about. I'm going to put some makeup on. I'm going to have a cup of tea. And then I get a phone call, and it ends up I had locked somebody in the building by accident, and they were rehearsing, and I had double locked the building. So I had to rush back, which is why I am currently in the Rain Dance office, and I have no makeup on, and I've only halfway watched the film. I'm talking about today. So yeah, other than that, I'm a writer director, and yes. Hello, everybody.
Which is why Kate has got this lovely halo.
Yes, beautiful halo.
Yeah, beautiful halo. Nic, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Nic Lamont. I'm wearing all the lipstick for Kate Shenton. I'm so envious. When I saw your lipstick, I was like, damn it! Damn it, Nic! What on for you? I'm an actor who specialises in horror comedy, I guess. And I've worked with Kate a lot of times. And yeah, I haven't locked anyone in a building today. So yeah, you've got one up on me there. But I've locked my husband upstairs. The night is still young. It's true. Yeah. Because we're only on 7:05, guys. There's enough time for me to lock someone somewhere.
You've locked the cats out, though, haven't you?
I have, yeah. Otherwise, they would be cameoing in front of the screen quite a lot. I mean, maybe we can have that later.
Yeah.
The cats may enter. They may have an appearance. That might happen.
Yeah. I think we should probably go. Yeah, I'm sure if I ask people, it'll be a vote for cats. I'm just checking my messages. Normally, Craig usually tells me, but whether or not we're actually broadcasting and people can see us, I'm assuming we have, because I think I can hear us downstairs. But yeah, I was assuming that people actually watching us and can see us. So, and Craig will let me know very shortly if we can't. Yeah.
Let us know if we're live. Let us know now.
Craig, are we live? No, I think he's downstairs. He's slightly deaf at the moment, so. Bless his life. Yes, you are broadcasting. Sorry, great. So anyway, the reason we're gathered here, apart from talking about cats and locking people in buildings, is I should just say that the first thing I know that you worked on together was Egomaniac, but had you worked together before that?
We have quite a long history. Who shall say the history? Who shall begin the history? Go for the history. So Nic auditioned for my first play that I ever put on at university. You are going way back. This is way back. This is way back. Which was Jean Genet's The Balcony, which is not the best play to put on as your first play. It's kind of like being baptized by fire, but I really liked it because I was like, wow, it's set in a brothel and it's got all this weird shit going on. And I kind of completely ignored the fact that it was also about 4 hours long, and a surrealist play. I had no idea what I was doing, but Nic auditioned for my first play, and then it's kind of just started from that, really. And we've done a number of things together.
Yeah, in that play, I played a sex worker that dresses up as a horse, by the way. And then the roles just got madder from there. So
I think I killed you in my first film as well. Do you remember Modern Grim, where I killed you?
killed me, and I remember that that knife wasn't nearly blunt enough, the one that was on my neck, and I had a delicious sort of wound, genuine wound, for a lot of my seminars at university at the time. So Kate's props have got better, I feel, in that now they don't hurt you as much.
I spend longer blunting knives than I used to.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, I was young, I was naive, I wasn't thinking about health and safety, whereas now I will generally spend a good while blunting. And I test it out on my own wrists first before I put it onto somebody else. But yeah, no, there've been many projects that we've done. Gosh, because
so I would just like to say I'm really hoping there are photographs of Nic playing a sex worker dressed as a horse.
There definitely are.
This is the play where I drew 4 naked women and a massive vagina on the floor.
You did. So York University has a drama barn as part of the drama soc, the society, and it's amazing because every company can just come in and paint it in any way you want to. Kate, I think, is the only person, I'm going to go out there and say the only person to paint a giant vagina across the length of the floor. Wasn't it, Kate? It was, right? It was.
I mean, it was basically a giant vagina surrounded by petals.
Yeah.
It
was beautiful, actually.
Yeah, it was very good. And 4 naked women.
Yeah.
So it made the 4-hour play totally worth it.
If you didn't like the performances of the sex worker horses, you could just look at the naked bodies and vaginas. Everything else out.
Oh, yeah, we've collaborated on many projects together over the years, and they have been quite nutty, but all tremendously fun and completely ridiculous, which is how we like it.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And before we kind of move on to Netflix and Kill, which is the most recent one, Nic, you also do Twins Macabre, but you also write your own plays. So I saw you do the Darklings at part of London Horror Festival last month and was blown away by it. It's absolutely amazing, both the writing, the directing, and watching Adam walk around in red high heels. I think that is a memory I have as well. So can you tell us just a little bit about the Darklings and where people can next see it?
Sure. So yeah, I'm part of the Twins Macabre, which is myself and Adam Rhys-Davies, and we are a horror comedy duo. Up until now, we've mainly done very comedy, sketch, song, cabaret orientated shows. But The Darklings is the first time that I've written a sort of full narrative play. Adam was in that play, as you say, wearing a very risque outfit. It also stars Harvey Robinson, who wrote all of our music for Twins Macabre. He's a composer as well. And also an actress called Rosie Fordham, who plays a character called Mother. Doesn't have a lot to do in the show, but completely stole the show. And that she's so good. And basically, it's hard to describe. Someone described it to me as a 1970s horror fever dream, which I feel it's along those kind of lines. it's about the world's smallest cult, because I thought a funny concept would be the time at the start of a cult when it's just a couple of people just throwing around ideas. Like, I imagine this has happened to all cults at some point where it's been a bit sad. And then Harvey plays a character, a mysterious character that comes in and sort of changes their whole world completely. And yeah, it's weirdly funny, I'd say. Like, the comedy's coming from a very sort of strange, possibly an alternate universe this play's kind of set in. And then it's got a few scares as well. So yeah, I'm really glad you liked it.
It's brilliant. And Adam was so pleased that, you know, he's like, did I get away with it walking in the shoes? Did it look all right? Then, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Heels than I'll ever be able to walk in heels. Like, seriously, he was rocking it.
Yeah, and when I say the heels, they were proper heels.
Ooh, they were proper heels. We went heel shopping for Adam, which was really fun, making all the other people in the shop feel slightly awkward for no reason. And like, yeah, he has amazing legs. Like, every single girl that watched the show was like, I'm very jealous of Adam's legs. His legs better than mine. So yeah.
Yeah. And where can people next to see the Darklings?
Darklings is going to be on next on Friday the 1st of February and Saturday the 2nd of February at the Vault Festival. And we are in the Pit venue, which is a really dark, grimy, slightly drippy, slightly mouldy cave. So I'm excited about that.
Yes. Yeah. And it will suit the yes, it'll work very well in that space. I'm sure it'll work very well in that space. Cool. All right, that's brilliant. So you, as I say, you worked on Egomaniac together, which if you haven't seen Egomaniac, it's available on, is it Hex Media YouTube? It's also on Amazon Prime
and Hex Media's YouTube channel. So you can watch it completely for free. So there is no excuses not to watch it. It is free entertainment. We have given it away for free.
Yes.
But yes, it's available on Hex Media's YouTube channel and Amazon Prime.
And I think it's even available on iTunes.
I don't think it's available on iTunes anymore.
Okay. Cool.
I'd have to double check. But don't get it on iTunes. You'd have to pay for it. Watch it for free. Why are you pay? I know. This is why I never make money. I might just watch it. It's all good. Okay. It's not long. It's what, 70 odd minutes? It's 70 minutes. We made Egomaniac on a budget of £5,000. So it is a super no budget feature film that we made on £5,000 in the space of 10 days. It screened at international film festivals all around the world. I think it's nearly at 11,000 views on YouTube, and it's had 5,000 hours worth of views on Amazon Prime. So people have watched it, which is great, which means that you should watch it because it is awesome. And yeah, it's a very, very, very dark, twisted comedy, which is semi-autobiographical. There's a lot of truth in that film, but I don't really want to say what's true and what's not. Yeah. That makes perfect sense to me. And it is good. It's very, very good. It is one. I have to say, it's not really doing spoilers. It's the fact that one of my favorite, one of the most shocking lines in the film is when what's the name of Catherine Sweeney is the name of the character. Oh, done.
Yes.
Well, that's remembering.
I just little neurons just spark every so often in my brain. And it's at the photo shoot. And I think I'm probably going to misquote. So basically, Catherine Sweeney's dressed up in a fabulous gear doing this photo shoot, and the line from the photographer is just pretend you have a penis like a real film director, which I think is shocking enough. And then you discover it's played by your husband. Is that right, Nic?
Oh, yes. So the photographer in Egomaniac is my husband, Patrick, who is a genuine photographer and an actor. Very, very handy. And then, so in that scene, I had my husband and Adam, my comedy partner, who I've been working with for years, both just basically improvising abuse at me.
Yeah, bear in mind with that scene, there was only about 3 lines in the script for that scene.
Oh, yeah.
It was literally like that whole scene is completely improvised. And was also the scene we were it was the scene that we were second most trying not to laugh our heads off because it was hysterical.
What's the first?
Where that was
the auditions.
Oh gosh, and it had been like such a long it was the final day, and like we were all just knackered. I think I'd lived off 4 hours sleep for about 3 months.
Lauren O'Brien, who plays Natasha, was hilarious, and that was all improvised by her as well.
Yeah,
and Lawrence Harvey as well.
Literally, the second she starts, we couldn't stop laughing, and I think I had to leave the room with the monitor because I was like, I'm just going to go to a different room with the monitor because I can't stop laughing.
If you watch it back, you'll notice that Adam and I will either be like this at the back of the room. We'll have like a notebook, like we'll be like, because we can't contain ourselves. It's just so stupid and so hilarious.
Yeah.
And from all of this out of this came Netflix and Kill, which is a web series, the first season of which is on Hex Media's YouTube. Now, how did this come about? Because you wrote and directed this, Kate.
Yes.
So what was the inspiration for Netflix and Kill?
I would like to say that there was some specific inspiration that happened, but the idea came into my head in the morning, and then I wrote it, and then I finished it by the end of the day. And then I did a rewrite the following day, and then I sent it to my script editor, and he was like, fuck, this is great. Also, we can't finish something this quickly. You can't have something this good in about 2 days. I was like, I don't know. It was a bit of a mad day of writing. And literally, because my friend Ruth, who I live with, because I'm very badly dyslexic, so, I have to, after I've done a vomit smashy down draft, I have to dictate it, otherwise no one else is going to understand what the fuck I'm talking about. And when I do like a final draft, I kind of like to dictate to somebody. So I was like, Ruth, can I dictate to you? I don't really know what I've got, but I think there's this thing here, and I think it's funny. And then I was dictating it to her, and she couldn't stop laughing. And that's basically how it came about. I mean, I've always loved things like the royal family and extras and really deadpan, dry as fuck British humor. I absolutely love that kind of stuff. And I think it was something that had been bubbling in my subconscious for a really long time, and then just came out in a mad burst of, there should be a psychopath. They should be watching television. There could be Jack the Ripper, which is kind of how my mind works when I'm writing. So that's kind of how it came about. I'd love to say that there was a massive inspiration for it, but it was just a really mad burst and a day of just solidly writing the first season. The second season, I must add, has taken longer to write, a lot longer to write. And
well, we'll come back to that in a moment, if we may. Nic, for those who've not seen Netflix and Kill, and Kate's kind of alluded to it, can you just explain the setup? What should people expect from Netflix and Kill?
Sure.
Season 1.
So, again, my comedy partner, Adam Rhys-Davies, plays a psychopath. In the first episode, he comes home from doing a horrific murder. The thing that makes him unique is that he likes to dress up as iconic killers and iconic horror movie kind of icons. I play his, I guess, housemate at the start. I'm sort of like, as it goes on, I'm revealed to be his next victim who really wants to be killed by him and has sought out a serial killer because she wants to be killed. But what ensues actually is them all the time just sitting in front of Netflix, being very casual, and it sort of develops into a kind of pseudo romance between them. And it's actually more about that friendship. I don't know whether you'd agree, Kate, but more about that friendship that is kind of bubbling away throughout.
Despite what it sounds like, it is probably the cutest thing I've made.
It is. It's tremendously sweet.
Like, I mean, when you describe it, like, it sounds like the most horror thing ever, but it's like, no, it generally is really, really sweet, and people have said they've cried at the end because it is quite a bittersweet thing. But yeah, it's a very, very dry, deadpan, dark comedy, but with a really cute, sweet, loving heart and twist.
Yes. Yeah, that absolutely. And who else is involved? You got a co-producer?
Yes, so I work with my co-producer Baptiste, and we're working on Netflix and Kill season 2. We also have Sasha, our amazing director of photography. Zana is our editor. Harvey, who is in the Darklings, has also composed the very catchy, very, very catchy music. We have James Hyde, who is the sound guy, who is just basically the magic man who makes everything sound great and awesome and wonderful. And it's a really, really incredible team. And what I'm really excited about is, like, the team from season 1 is going to be the same team for season 2. But it was just a really fun shoot. Like, we could not stop laughing and giggling. And it was just a really beautiful vibe and energy to it. And yeah, it was just tremendously fun to film. Even though we were in a house that was about over 30 degrees at some points, because we were filming in an Airbnb and it was the heat wave. And even though we were all sweating and dying and had got through 100 bottles of water, it was still tremendously fun and really lovely. So it's a really incredible team that are making it.
So for American watchers, we're talking 30 degrees Celsius, which is around about 90 odd. Yeah, it was hot. Yeah.
So I think I lost about 2 pounds. I definitely felt like my clothes fitted a lot better, and I was like, "Oh wow, I should do this more often."
Shenton had an extravagant black hand fan, and it was an incredible kind of director's calling card. It was like when Kate just got the fan out and just started, and I was like, "Why don't we all have a fan?"
Actually, someone has left the fan. Yes. Let me see how it goes. Oh no, it's not a good one. It hasn't got a good snap. No. Also, I think it might have come from Japan, so I might put it back and not break it. I can do a really good whoosh, whoosh.
Yeah. I remember having conversations. I remember having conversations with Kate when you did the screening of Netflix and Kill, comparing our fans, because I got myself a fan during the heat wave earlier on, because it's very useful when you're on London Underground to have you just do that.
I can't survive without one. I can't survive without one in the summer. It's just no.
Just go. So you put Netflix and Kill up on. Oh, actually, I must just say I have to. Adam dressed as Pinhead is just one of my favorite ever images.
It was everybody's favorite costume.
It was impossible, and it was one of those things because the costumes were the most expensive thing about it, and I was like, oh, we're already over budget, but I can't not get that Pinhead costume. I can't not do it. I can't not do it. So yeah, it's ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous.
It was like and then we had to you couldn't hear, which I really like.
Darling, I can't hear you.
You need to lean a little. It's just that wonderful thing occasionally happens, Nick, where we'll start getting feedback from Nick, which I can't really do anything about. Nick, if you've got earbuds, it might help, or I'll just shut up. Try putting in earbuds.
Oh, I think it's back.
Can you?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah,
Yes. That's great. But can you hear me now?
Yes.
You can?
Yes.
Oh, cool. That's all sorted. Okay. So you were telling us about Adam and his pinhead mask.
Oh, yeah, just that he couldn't hear at all because it was sort of like all encasing his head. And we had to actually cut out little like ear shapes just amongst the pins so that he could just hear what lines I was giving him. There's also a lovely photo of him with Kate's fan in that get-up, which I was just like, this is perfect.
And did you have to cut the face out from the original mask?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had to cut the face out. We did a few little moderations to a couple of the costumes, but that one we had to cut the face out so that he could perform. And also it kind of just made it funnier as well.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
It's just, that's the thing I think that just makes it funny.
Absolutely. Cool. All right. So that's it. Oop, I'm back again. That may be Kate's end this time.
Okay.
Well, anyway, I will just say, so tell us about season 2, Kate.
Oh gosh, where do I start with season 2? Season 2 is it's quite different from season 1. So basically, it's 2 different characters but set in the same world. Nic is going to be the psychopath. Adam is the sort of victim, but it then becomes her intern, and then he basically becomes more famous than her. And there's a lot. It's very dark.
Not too many spoilers.
Not too many spoilers. That's about as much spoilers I'm going to go for, but it's not. It's very dark. It's the same kind of dark comedy. It's a little bit more gorier. I would say that this is more like the previous one was very much a romance, whereas this is very much a revenge and isn't quite as lovey-dovey, but is still incredibly fun and really, really enjoyable and a little bit nuts. So yeah.
And you're currently crowdfunding for it.
Yes, we are currently crowdfunding for it. So we're crowdfunding on Indiegogo. We've got lots of, right, I'm going to do the crowdfunding pitch. But we've got lots of really awesome perks available for people. So we have a bespoke plate by Nic's awesome company, Spill the Tea. We have a, yeah.
Hold on. Keep it there, Nic.
Look at the plate.
I mean, this one's a one, but this is the kind of stuff that's Spill between. His Wednesday.
And we also have some limited edition artwork. Also, if you want to write, like if you want to make your first film, or you want to make a feature film or a web series, you can get in with me and I'll sit you down and go through your whole project with you. So there's some really awesome perks available. So please support us and help us make Netflix and Kill season 2. And if you haven't seen season 1, you can see it on Hex Media's YouTube channel.
So if you're watching this on YouTube, there are a link between below the YouTube.
Yes, yeah.
That's right. Looking around for my earbuds, which have completely disappeared.
I'm in.
You're in. Let me just see.
I need my headphones in because my headphones are a little less discreet.
Actually, I think that might have solved it.
It was me.
It was Nic. It was Nic. It's okay. That's fine. So right. So yes. So the links are up below YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, just go down to both season 1, which is wonderful, and the Indiegogo. There are some amazing perks. So what you were saying with Kate was that you can get mentored. You get a consultation with you.
It's a consultation, so it will be a 1-hour consultation. I will look at any of your work beforehand, so I'd want to see like scripts, plans, everything beforehand, and then we'll sit down and go for your plan for your project. And it could be a festival strategy, it could be a self-distribution strategy, it could be making the project, it could be pre-production for a feature film. But whatever it is, I've got quite a lot of experience in many different areas, so I'm very, very happy to sit down and go through and advise as best I can.
And so you can do that. You don't have to be physically there.
No, that can be done on Skype as well. So that can be easily done on Skype.
And that was very recent. That was like 75 quid or something.
Yeah, and you get a tote bag and a limited edition piece of artwork as well. So it's a real bloody bargain, if you ask me.
And are there a limited number of sessions, or are they there?
For this perk, there isn't a limited number. I mean, for anyone who gets it, it would be one session. Yeah. But I, as you can all tell, I can talk very, very quickly, and I can give a lot of information in a very, very short space of time. Once you start me talking, that is it. Mm-hmm. But there isn't a cap on the amount of sessions that I'm doing, so it isn't a limited thing. Whoever wants to do it can have it. And as I say, I will aid you as best I can with your project.
Cool. So I think we're closing up some cases as well. Or it may be from I'll try putting in my earphones to see if I can.
Do you want me to get my earphones?
It's true. Yeah, well, tell you, while you're doing that, well, I think, is there anything else to say about Netflix and Kill season 2? Nic, what do you think? What are you looking forward to in Netflix and Kill season 2?
I think mostly just playing different character, and for me and Adam to have like a sort of different power shift with who's the killer is going to be really fun. And there is a bit more gore. There's going to be some more fun costumes. There's going to be some more fun props. I don't know. I've heard rumors of like a potentially exciting cameo, which I'm not going to talk about.
We can't talk about the cameo, but we have got a famous cameo planned for the moment, which is very, very exciting.
Yeah.
It's very exciting indeed. But we're not saying anything just.
That's all we'll say.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Okay, well, check it out, folks. And if you haven't seen the first season, I really, heartily recommend it. Kate actually sent me the complete season before. Very good. I loved it. And then I even went to the special screening as well, because I enjoyed it so much. So I really do heartily recommend that and checking out season 2. Okay, cool. So what we're also going to be talking about is your 2 choices of films, and I have to say I hadn't seen either of these 2 films before. And we'll talk about Les Diabolique first, and we'll talk about The Voices second. But Nic, so
yeah,
I can't say that the title of this film, it's French. Can you do better than me?
Les Diabolique.
Les Diabolique.
Yeah, I think you just need to be sort of like nonchalant about it.
And shrug at the same time.
Yeah, it's a French movie from 1955. What? And so pretentious. When I was a pretentious art student, I was doing a project about Hitchcock, and this is not a Hitchcock film. But all I kept reading about was this French film that everyone said, oh, this is the film that he wanted to make, but he didn't get to make. So I thought I need to check that out.
Cool. So for anyone who hasn't seen it, can you give us a précis of the beginning of the film? Obviously, no spoilers.
Yes, because there's a lot of twists in it. But it's set in a French all-boys school. The headmaster of the all-boys school is called Michael or Michel, potentially. Michel. And he's a real dick. He's a very, very, very cruel, horrible man. His wife is also a teacher at the school, and he also has a mistress who is a teacher at the school. And they they're aware of each other. They're talking about the fact that, you know, he's married to her, but he's sleeping with her. And then the two women plot his demise and carry out his murder.
And that's all you need to know. And then
Yeah.
just gets, but it's beautifully shot. I watched it this afternoon, and then I had to stop watching it like 10 minutes before the end to go and get dinner. It was like, oh no, can I eat it in front? No, if I try and eat it in front of the TV, the dog's going to eat my food, and I'm going to have to pause it. And it's like, what the hell? What's going on? What?
Yeah.
It's twisty, turny.
Did you see all the twists though? Did you manage to get to see the twist?
Yes. I did actually manage to watch it all the way through to the very, very end before we did the. It's just amazing. Simone Signoret is one of the lead actresses. It's beautifully shot. It really feels like a film noir.
Yeah, and I feel like it goes like at the start, it's sort of a thriller. In the middle, it goes into kind of ghost movie territory, and then it gets quite shocking at the end with how it all transpires.
Yeah, and it's it's just because it's quite long. It's 1 hour 57 minutes.
Long for an old film, right? You know what I mean? Like quite long for an old film.
Because Craig and I were out and about today, and I was thinking it's great as long as I'm back at 4 o'clock. And if, as long as it's the usual 90 minutes, that's no problem. I can sit down. And I thought, it's going to be 2 hours. Always the dread if I've not had a chance to watch one of the films before the show. It's like, I'll speed through it if necessary. And then I sat down at 4 o'clock, and I thought, I've got 2 hours. I can. And it's like, oh no, I'm not going to speed through this. This is just too good.
Yeah.
As you say, it's in French with English subtitles, so you can't look away. You have to.
That's it. Yeah.
To read it.
And the dialogue is really pithy and zingy. Like, especially at the start, it's horrible. Actually, the kind of stuff that the school teacher is saying to his wife. Also, weirdly, I read that the director, the lady that plays the wife in the film, is his wife. So basically, he had his wife playing a wife to a horrible, horrible man.
Yes. So it's directed by Henri Georges Clouzot.
Nice.
Not Clouseau as in Inspector Clouseau. It's Clouzot. And it's played. Yes, as I say, it's Simone Signoret opposite Vera Clouzot with Paul Maurice. It's what I particularly like about it is all the characters are set up incredibly well. The boys are very good. I mean,
they are, aren't they? They're just like full of life and really fun, actually. I'm really mean. Like, if there's a child actor in a film that is bad, I'm just like, no, can't deal with it. But all these kids are really, really good.
I wonder if it's because back in 1955 you didn't have all this, you didn't have every kid in the world wanting to be on stage. That it's very naturalistic. They just look like a boys at school. Yeah. And there's a great range of them as well. It's obviously a boarding school. It's very obviously these are the kids of of rich people who are sent to boarding school, so the parents can get shot of them. Because the boys suffer as well. The food's really bad. It's a horrible. It's like it's Dickensian. It looks like it really is Dickensian.
Yeah, they could have been singing "Food, Glorious Food" like at the table.
And always sees a quadruped with a leg at each corner. Yeah, and it's very. But they're the teachers, and and you get the whole dynamic, and is this wonderful relationship between the two women.
Yes.
Because at times you think, is there some sort of lesbian affair going on here? Because they're so very close. Because they obviously both hate him because he's such a bastard. It starts off with the fact that he's hit the mistress is wearing sunglasses. Literally, it's obviously hit her. He really is he's a monster. He's not just not nice. He's a monster. He's a bullying. He bullies everyone. The school kids.
It's sort of like the misogyny is so bad that it's like, to me, it's almost comical because it's so extreme and so weird. Like, it's really odd. Like, he calls his wife like a cute little ruin or something like that. So you're gunning. You're like, yes, kill this man. Please kill this man.
Yeah, you really are rooting for him to be killed. Yeah. I think the line is, he says, yeah, because she's got this heart condition. And, she complains of having a heart, being ill, but ruins last forever. I'm just like, what do you say?
Yeah. Also, I love the kind of like 1950s thing of she's like sickly and she's ill and she's suffering with this disease, but she is gorgeous, like, beautiful at all times, and like they very much make her the sort of the innocent, like almost virginal one.
Virginal is a musical instrument.
Yes. The virginal one, like in her like little frock, and then the mistress has like the shades and kind of like the swagger.
And talk about high heels, the mistress is obviously made to look a lot taller than her because she's constantly in 4-inch high heels, whereas Sinure's in flats. To make it, the mistress is because it's the mistress is organizing all that, is making it, and it's. But again, it's like the neighbors upstairs when there are some gals, and it's like it's all the little nuances.
Yeah. I also feel like she's off.
She's off again.
I feel like it's got loads of like sort of before their time, sort of horror movie moments, like the face in the photograph, like looking back on a photograph and seeing a face that wasn't there. There's like a typewriter, like almost Shining-esque moment where like you just see that someone's been typing their name ferociously loads of times. So when I watched it, I was very much like, I wonder if this is like inspired a lot of other things.
It's very gothic. I mean, you were talking about, literally she's walking down a corridor with the light behind her in this diaphanous nightdress at one stage. And so you can very clearly see the outline of the figure, and she's not wearing it. And because it's a French film, you can see her nipples through it. And it's, it's very much that it seems to have got from, because as you say, it's 1955. So if perhaps things like The Innocents, it harks, is very much that style as well. I can see what people say, this is the film that Hitchcock would have liked. It's very much in the style. And of course, the French New Wave filmmakers adored Hitchcock. You've only got to watch Hitchcock Truffaut, the documentary on the interview that Francois Truffaut did with Hitchcock and the influence of Hitchcock, where Hitchcock's films were shown in cinemas for a year. Just shown nightly. People went along and saw so he had a huge influence, and you can see it. It's brilliant. So thank you so much for suggesting it, because I had never. And it's not even anything that I would have seen. I've watched an awful lot of American film noir and black and white movies because they used to show them on Sunday afternoons on TV when I was growing up. But I've never seen this one before. So thank you for that. And I can say I've never seen The Voices. I nearly saw The Voices. I remember Craig and I saw The Voices after we watched Ryan Reynolds in The Proposal with
very different film.
Julia Roberts. It's like, great, this Ryan Reynolds guy is really, really funny. And I'll go, well, he's in this, watch this, and there's like, this is not the same sort of film at all. So when did you see The Voices, Kate? How did you come across this?
I saw it a few years ago, and I have no idea why I stumbled across it, but when I watched it, I kind of watched it, and then when it finished, I sat there and I was just like, fuck, that is the film that I want to make. That is literally the film that I've always wanted to make. I think it's a very special and unique film. There isn't anything I've ever seen quite like it. It's about a guy who hears voices in his head, which are projected through his cat and his dog. And he then starts killing a few people, and he hears voices from their heads that are in his fridge. And what's very endearing about it is he is actually really lovable and very likable. And the different voices have such different personalities. You've got this really dopey dog voice that's like, oh, don't worry, you're a good boy. You're really good. And then you've got this evil Scottish cat voice, which basically meant every time I see cats, and particularly ginger cats, I just imagine them speaking in an evil, abusive Scottish voice. Oh, you fucking shit, aren't you? Like, and it's a beautiful film. It's really like the art direction in it is one of the most, like, it's utterly stunning. And it made me become really obsessed with pink. I never thought in my life I would become obsessed with pink, but after watching The Voices, the way that they use pink as a color has now become a slight obsession of mine. And I think, funnily enough, even though it's very surreal, it's very heightened, it's a very, very dark comedy, which is the kind of comedy that I love, I do think it actually treads on mental health a lot more sensitively than other horror films have. Like, there's a beautiful speech that the therapist says where she's like, we've all got voices in our head, it's just whether you choose, it's our choice whether we listen to them or not. And I think that kind of approach you don't actually see very often in horror films. You tend to see schizophrenic psychopath going around killing people, whereas this one kind of peels the layers a little bit more, and it has the world when he's on his medication, which is horrible and grimy and awful, and the world when he's off his medication, which is just serene and beautiful and colorful and lovely. And I think that's just something really unique. It is a surreal film, and I think it was a big, massive flop, and it was kind of done when Ryan Reynolds was before Deadpool, and he'd just done The Green Lantern, and he was not having a good time as an actor. And it's a shame because I think it's gone really under the radar and really not been seen by people, but it is a really, really unique, weird film. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's I've just scrolled. I was listening to you. I was just curious as to whether or not I could find out what the budget was and how much money it made, which you can sometimes get from IMDb.
Yeah, I definitely am. I definitely think it was a bit of a a massive flop. Nobody, hardly anybody has watched it, and
it's got 6.3 on IMDb, so it's got a really good. But I have to say, as I scroll down IMDb, and the first review says, "The cat made me write this review." Yeah. Yes, and it's. I think what it, as I say, because Kate's chosen that one, and I remember I don't like this, and okay, I'll sit down and watch it. As you say, it's got Gemma Arterton in it. It's always nice to see English actors getting some work. She plays this wonderful, but again, it's just all, as you say, it's the design, the pink that they've chosen. Basically, Ryan Reynolds works at a company making toiletware, baths, loos, etc., and he works in the packing. They all wear bright pink uniforms, fluorescent pink uniforms and so on, and you get this feeling that the town lives. This is a town living in quiet desperation. Nobody is happy in this town. Nobody is happy in this town. But again, all the characters are really, really well drawn. All the minor characters are incredible.
Even just like the really small one-line characters are real characters, and that's something I always look for in the film. I always say, like, the film is as good as its smallest character, And in this, even the tiny ones who've just got a few lines, you still get a sense of who they are. It's a real world that's been like a very surreal, kind of fucked up world that's been built around this film. And it has the best fucking credit sequence in any film I have ever seen in my life ever. I mean, I'm not going to blow any spoilers, but basically it's a full sing-along dance number that Jesus comes down from the sky in, and it's just genius.
Yes.
And weirdly, the actor who plays Jesus is Michael Pink. Because of course. But I think one of the things that really about it is the fact that it shows it, because it's got, as I say, Gemma Arterton, it's got Ryan Reynolds, it's got Anna Kendrick in it. So you've got three really strong actors, and I think that's one of the things you need, those really attractive personalities to take you through, because it is so weird and very, like, you know, it's not laugh out loud, roll on the floor funny. It is incredibly dark. And as you say, it's dealing with mental health issues sensitively. But it's not Family Guy. You know, if you like Family Guy, you're not necessarily.
No, I mean, this is super dark humor and super dry humor, and it's humor that will make you laugh on the inside and make you smile, but it's not going to make you laugh out loud, because the humor is a side point, because the real point is the surrealness of what is actually going on, and getting so into, like, it's really a film that properly gets you into the head of a psychopath. And many films will do that, but they'll do, oh, he's cold and calculating, and you'll never really know. Whereas this, you really know his inner workings, because you're hearing the voices in his head talking, and you're hearing the cat that's telling him to kill people because he's a predator and it's the only time he's ever felt alive. And you hear the dog basically go, no, you're a good boy, don't do that. Oh, good. And then you hear the other voices of his victims, and you hear all the different voices, which are basically all the different voices probably going on in the head of someone who is a psychopath. And that's what's quite interesting, is it really gets into that head and finds a kind of sympathy with it, a kind of understanding, but also the ending is the right ending for it.
Oh yeah.
The ending is absolutely the right ending. It's a dark ending, but it is, you watch it and go, that's how this should end, and that's what should happen.
But also, I think, and Ryan Reynolds, as I say, I've always rated him as an actor anyway.
Brilliant.
You just want to give him a hug. He's so, oh yeah, okay. And
he's amazing. And like, this was like before Deadpool, but like I watched this film and I was just like, this guy is amazing. He is a brilliant actor. And it is Ryan Reynolds like you've not seen him before. It's a very, very different role. And I think it shows how versatile he is as an actor. And also, as I say, I don't think he would take this role on now, because he's doing really well. It's definitely an actor who's hit a bit rock bottom. Oh, let's do this weird, quirky indie film. I can get my teeth into this. But he is incredibly lovable and incredibly sympathetic. And you do just want to give him a big hug.
Yeah.
At the end, even though he's killed about 4 people, you're just like, oh, it's okay. Don't listen to the cat. Listen to the dog. You're a good boy.
Yeah, I have to say, I do like the tagline for this. A likable guy pursues his office crush with the help of his evil talking pets. But things take turns sinister when she stands him up for a date. Yeah. I don't have to say... Sorry, Kate.
No, carry on.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, it does rely, you know, so there are some really stupid people in this town as well. It's kind of like, yeah, it does rely on the fact that, yeah, okay, oh, well, we think he might be doing something wrong. I know, we'll go by ourselves and just knock on his door and just check whether or not we're right.
I think because they made a world that's so surreal and weird, they get away with it. Like, it's not a perfect film. And like, script-wise, it's not perfect. Structurally, it's not perfect. But for me, there's just something about it that is so endearing. And it's one of those films that I look at and I'm like, how the hell did you get this financed? How the hell did you get this made? But I'm so glad that you did, and that's, you know, you don't get many of those films, but this is really one of those films where you're like, how did you get A-lister actors and £6 million to make this very, very weird script about a guy and his talking cat and talking dog who goes off killing people, but is kind of lovable. And yeah, who's really excited about putting the office party together.
Yes. Yeah, and the fact that you get free pizza at the end of it and so on. But it's all, no, it's brilliant. If you haven't seen The Voices, I'm a complete and utter convert to this. I really am a complete and utter convert. So, right, okay, we're almost at the end of our time now. So just to remind people, where can they support Netflix and Kill season 2, Kate?
They can support Netflix and Kill season 2 on our Indiegogo. You can also follow our social media as well. You can follow me at Kate_Shenton on Twitter. You can also follow Nic. Nic, what is your Twitter handle?
It is Nic Lamont, or Nic. Just look for Nic Lamont. There might be an
Nick. I don't know if Kate did this deliberately, but it's Nic_.
It's an underscore, isn't it? Back when underscores.
Did I actually do that for
underscore?
Yes.
Or that it appears you've done that. It's like Nic_. It's like
underscore.
Underscore. That's my new thing. Kate_Shenton. But yes, please do support our Indiegogo, because season 2 is going to be fantastic. It's darker, it's funnier, it's a bit weirder, and yes, you get to see Nic become a psychopath.
Yeah.
Again.
All the time.
I was just going to say something. Yes, and there are some great rewards. I was going to say something else far more intelligent a few minutes, but it's gone. It's all right. And Nic, where can they see the Darklings?
Oh, well, yeah, we're going to be next at Vault, but all the kind of like stuff about the Darklings you can find through the Twins Macabre. So our Twitter is @the Twins Macabre, and our website is twinsmacabre.com. And yeah.
Are you doing anything? What else are you guys working on?
We are working on a new show that's going to be, so every year we go to the Brighton Fringe and we're at the Brighton Spiegel tent. So we're going to be doing another live comedy cabaret show as the Twins Macabre there. Also just want to give a quick shout out to Vampires of Soho, which is the short film that I had a screening for yesterday. Actually saw it for the first time, directed by Andy Edwards. That is an 80s punk vampire film shot on 16mm actual film.
Oh wow.
Ooh. Yeah, it looks cool as yeah, so that's going to be kind of doing the rounds of the kind of short film festivals and stuff, and their Twitter is @Vampires of Soho.
I love the fact that you gave a shout out to the Vampires of Soho, because I think we should do that more often. You know, they don't get enough love. I'm certain there are a few of them hanging around the nightclubs. Cool. All right. Well, anything else that you guys are working on at the moment you'd like to tell people about before I wrap this up?
I have something, but it's top secret, so I can't say anything. So I'm just going to shut up before I say anything.
That's always a very good move.
Yeah, you know me, I just blurt out anything. So I really shouldn't be allowed to talk.
Well, okay. Well, in that case, before we say goodbye, I'll just remind people that I'm going to be in Chicago at the Days of the Dead next weekend, so there's going to be no show. I'm going to be there with Barbie Wilde, Simon Bamford, and Clive Barker, and Ashley Lawrence. And I believe there are some photo ops with Clive, Barbie, Simon, and myself that are being organised. So you can, if you're in Chicago, come along, say hi. Chance of a lifetime to meet us all together. And then the following week, I'm going to be interviewing a gentleman called Chuck Caruso about his new book, The Meaning of Blood. Sorry, I was trying to read this in mirror writing. And Other Tales of Perversity. So that'll be on the 25th of November. I started reading it now since last week. I'm really enjoying it. I've only got up to the stories so far, but they're really enjoying them. So yeah, check that out. Right, would you like to say goodbye?
Goodbye.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Hopefully see some of you in Chicago, some of you